Hi, Lakeside families. My name is Mrs. Weber, and the purpose of this video is to take you through my AVID 9 class. I'm going to start by first taking you to my Canvas page. So Canvas is where you're going to find all of the content and all of the information that you need to know in order to be successful in my class. So you'll start off and you'll see a little welcome here, and there is my email address, my cell phone number, and then my remind. These are the easiest ways for you to get in contact with me, and I always welcome both parent and student questions and communication. So communication is key. I've been known to reach out to parents when students are not being successful in my class, and some of you have already received phone calls from me. I do also try to reach out occasionally to let you know when your child is doing exceptionally well as well. Okay, so a couple things on this page that I want to point out. First off, the grades. So this is the most accurate grade for your student. Although this is the most accurate grade, the end grade, the grade that ends up on your student's transcript, is actually in Infinite Campus. I encourage our AVID students to check both Canvas and Infinite Campus to ensure that the grades match. And I will tell you for my class, the most accurate is going to be in Canvas, and then the second most accurate is going to be in IC. And the only reason there's that discrepancy is that when I input grades, I put it into Canvas, but then it usually takes about 24 hours for Canvas to then communicate to Infinite Campus in order for the grades to sync up. The other thing I want to point out is where students can always find their assignments. So I list all of the assignments by week on my Canvas page, and you can go back and even look what assignments the students had on the first week, second week, so on and so forth. And then we have our assignments for this past week that we just completed, so October 12th through October 16th. So students can click on these individual assignments and then get more details. Now, the assignments are not actually physically done in Canvas. I actually have my students do their work inside of a class notebook, and that class notebook is through OneNote. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to show you what OneNote looks like. All right, so this right here is OneNote, and you'll see a few additional things that you wouldn't see on the student end because you're seeing the teacher view at this point. But the two main areas that students will see is the collaboration space, and then they will see their name and then these additional tabs below their name. So these additional tabs, every student has the same tabs, and this is where we do our assignments. So I'm going to take you through a couple of them. I'm going to first start off by taking you through the note check. So each week, your students will have notes that they are required to turn in. They need to have a set of notes for science, a set of notes for English, for AVID or foreign language, and then also for their math class. And then this is a description of the overall assignment, and then it also provides a timeline. This is a suggested timeline and not a required timeline. So we don't require that they turn in a set of notes on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but we do suggest that they turn in one set of notes each day, just so that they're not waiting last minute. Because if they wait until Thursday, then a lot of students really get stressed and struggle with completing this because they're trying to do so much in that short amount of time. But this is really an assignment that students have weekly. And the idea is that they spread it out so that it is not stressful all right before Thursday night. Now, this is an assignment that is due on Thursday night at midnight, and that is a hard deadline. So I have different categories in my class, and some of them have hard deadlines. Those are deadlines that students cannot go back and make up. However, I also do have some soft deadlines. So soft deadlines tend to be classwork. So assignments that I assign in AVID that students are working on that are not the note check, grade checks, or tutorials. So those are the three: note checks, the tutorials, and the grade checks. Those have hard deadlines. So those are deadlines that if the students miss them, then they can't go back and make them up. But these assignments are happening weekly, so it's never a surprise. Students always know that on Thursdays at midnight, they have their note check due. On Wednesdays at midnight, they have their grade checks due. And then on Sunday at midnight, they have their TRF that's due, and then they have their tutorials, which they present their TRF, their tutorial request form, on Mondays in their tutorials. So those are the hard deadlines, but anything else that I am assigning to students, such as articles to read, such as group projects or essays, those all have soft deadlines. So those soft deadlines are assignments that I will have a particular deadline, but if a student does not meet that deadline, then I will continue to remind them to make up that assignment until they have successfully, notice the word successfully, completed it. So sometimes students will start the assignment, but they won't successfully complete it. I will give them a 0 in the gradebook on that assignment until they go back and they complete it, but then they will get full credit. Okay, and those are only on the assignments that have those soft deadlines. And the idea behind that is I want my students to not rush through these assignments necessarily, and I want them to be able to go back and fix an assignment if they didn't meet the expectations. So I don't penalize because I want students to be motivated to go back and earn the credit versus it being something that they're going to be penalized for if they don't do it correctly the first time. Okay, so those are my different categories and give you some insight into the grading in my class. And this here that you're seeing on the screen, this is their note check. So they would take a picture of their notes or take a screenshot of their notes for AVID, and they would insert it here. Same thing for English, math, and science. And then they get 10 points for each of these assignments. And this here is just a list of the requirements. So they need to have the notes, they need to have the date, their essential question, annotations, and summaries. I'm going to take you to their tutorials. So their tutorial, each week they will have a TRF to fill out. And this is something that is relatively new to them that we have introduced within the last month. But starting this coming Monday will be the first time that they are filling this out 100% on their own. But we have practiced this throughout the last couple of weeks, and they've received guidance. And then the other assignment that I want to show you is their grades over time. So we ask students in AVID to track their grades. This is just a sample. This isn't a particular student. It's under my teacher only area because I use this to model to the students. And notice I modeled at first how I wanted them to write in the date. They look up their grades in both Canvas and Infinite Campus just to see if they match. And then they put the grade and then the percentage. So at this point, this has been completed by the students through 10, 12, 20. And then I have the date for next week because that's what we're going to be doing on Tuesday in class. All right, so that is the overall view for AVID. You were shown both the class Canvas, so where students can actually go and find the class link in order to join class. And then also I showed you the class notebook, which is where students actually complete their assignments. And then I go into the class notebook and I grade the assignments. And then the students' grades are put into their Canvas page. That's where it's going to be most accurate. But ultimately, those grades get transferred over to IC. And the IC grade is the grade that'll end up on the actual transcript in order to earn credit. The only other thing I want to leave you with is please, 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 if you ever have any questions whatsoever, or if you need support with your student, I have an open door policy. The best way to reach out to me is through email, through a text message, and I put up my phone number, my personal cell phone number on Canvas, and it's on the school website. But one more time, that is area code 909-709-0765. Please feel free, reach out to me anytime because I am here to support you and your students. All right, guys, I look forward to hearing from you in the future. And if you ever want to have a conference with me, please reach out. Thank you very much and have a good evening.